I'm guessing some of you guys have seen the videos from iCast about the Sammy Bug 100. This is the first time I've actually seen it on the water. I wanted to try it out and see what it does. It's not really the place to throw it for smallmouth, but I am really impressed with this bait, how loud it is and how much commotion it makes. This isn't necessarily going to be a go out in every tournament and throw it, but this is something that will pull fish from a long ways away. It's so loud, creates a lot of commotion. Where I see it really shining is nighttime tournaments. I think that that's where it's really going to shine. Or on lakes that have a lot of grass and there's some deep grass, you can throw this over that deep grass and pull them from a long ways away. It's really loud. I mean, this thing is, I'm actually expecting a smallmouth to come up and hit it at any second. Really big profile bait, but boy, it looks good in the water. Man, I can't believe how well you can walk that thing too. I thought you just wind it, but if I just sit there and twitch it like it's a walking bait, walks really well, but it's really loud, completely different than what we've seen before. A couple key characteristics with the Sammy Bug 100. Obviously the bill, that's something that sticks out right away. It's not fixed, it's loose. So that's what creates a lot of that sound, a lot of the clicking sound. The other thing is it's jointed. That helps with sound as well because the two pieces clank together. Then you have a prop on the back. So this thing is like the trifecta of noise and commotion and vibration on the water. And lots of sound, lots of different things you can do with it. You can wind it and it swims on its own, or you can twitch it and walk the dog. I see this being a very valuable tool because there's so many different things you can do with it. So right now I'm throwing on a Tatula Elite Series. This is Ishman Rowe frog rod. I wouldn't necessarily throw it on this, it's just a tad heavy. I would throw it on braid though. I have this on 50-pound FX braided line. I have a Tatula SV reel and a 6.3 gear ratio. So the Tatula 50-pound FX Sunline, I would throw it on my 7.3 multi-purpose rod because this is a topwater with trebles. You're gonna want a little bit softer rod. Now it's pretty heavy, so you're gonna want something that's stout enough to cast it, but soft enough that doesn't tear the trebles out. So I would go with the 7.3 multi-purpose Tatula Elite Series by Daiwa. Pair it with that SV Tatula 50-pound Sunline FX Sammy Bug 100. I would throw some G finesse trebles on there. I would go with a 1 or 1/0 in the medium heavy, and that would be a bad dude right there. That's going to catch some fish for sure. Oh, he missed it. Oh, he missed it again. I got it that time. Another nice one. There we go. He's got that G finesse right in the corner of his mouth. Look at that right there. That fish was not coming off. Hooked very well. That's what you need, is for him to be hooked like that to land them. It's a chunky little one. Take it. Now we got a mess. Now that's a mess right there. I have my top water hanging over the side. It was almost good. Little one. But the good thing about that is throw them back in on that same school that bit the top water and got them to bite the Senko. So I've had 1, 2, 3 bites now on the Senko after I had 2 bites on the Gunfish. I'll make a couple more casts with this, and if they don't bite it, then I'm gonna go back to that Gunfish. Oh, he let go of it. Right before I pulled on it, he let go. Let's see if he comes back. It's really shallow right here too. It's just a little sand flat and has a little bit of eelgrass in different areas, but there's one little stretch here where it doesn't have any eelgrass and they're right in that sand. They're not on the grass, they're only on that sand. I haven't had a bite for a little bit on the Senko, so I'm gonna go back to the Gunfish and see what happens. Oh, that's a good one too. Bait and switch, man. It's crazy how they do that. Bite the top water, then they stop biting the Gunfish and pick up the Senko. They bite the Senko and then they stop biting it. And then now I'm back to the Gunfish again, and first cast I get a bite on it. It's a decent fish too. I have the G Finesse on there, and there's no chance of him coming off. That medium heavy is such a good treble. I'm using size 4s on this. This is a Gunfish 115. So size 4 with my own tied feather on the back. It's a nice smallmouth. You know, my backup bait for this spot right here is just a 4-inch Senko. Nothing crazy on that. It's a green pumpkin amber laminate, and I'm putting an O-ring on it. Now this hook right here is something different. That's called the B10S Stinger that's made by Gamakatsu. That is the best Wacky rig hook you could ever throw on a Wacky rig, especially with a Senko. So B10S Stinger, that's a 1/0. I would actually normally throw a 1, but I ran out, so I'm using a 1/0 and it's been working just fine. I'm putting this on an 8-pound Sunline FC Sniper leader. And then on the main line, I'm doing a brand new braid that Sunline has come out with that it's gonna have some P-ion coating and it's not quite yet available. In fact, today's the first time I've seen it, and really big fan. But TX braid is very good. That's normally what I use. This happens to be this brand new one that will probably be out here pretty soon. So the reel, this right here is the brand new Tatula LT. Now LT stands for light. This right here is a 4,000 size reel and it weighs 6 ounces. So it's very, very light. And oh, I got one. I'm putting that Tatula LT on a rod that I designed. This is the Tatula Elite Series drop shot rod. Now, it's a medium action rod, so what I've done with this rod is I've kind of designed it to be a multi-purpose rod. It's not specifically a drop shot rod. So here I'm throwing a Wacky rig Senko. I will throw a shaky head on it. I will throw a drop shot. It's just a multi-purpose rod. Now it's a medium action. I designed it to have a soft tip. That's good for casting, it's good for a drop shot, it's good for working the bait. It doesn't pull it away from the strike zone. You can keep it right where it should be by having a softer tip and being able to work it. Now, to make it a multi-purpose rod, it has a good backbone, so I can get a good hook set on the fish. This rod also has the AGS guides in it. The whole string of guides on this rod weigh the equivalent of a titanium guide on another rod. So very lightweight. Anytime you decrease the weight, you add sensitivity. But because they're carbon fiber, the transfer of vibration to the blank is a lot stronger as well. So very sensitive rod. Pair that with the LT, the Tatula LT. It's a very lightweight setup, zero fatigue. You can fish this all day long and not get worn out. and I like the bigger reels, so size 4,000. The other thing I like is it's a 6.3 gear ratio reel, so when I get a bite out there, I can take up a lot of line to catch up to that fish and get a good hook set. So catching them on this as a backup bait, but I like to kind of bait and switch. So what I have been doing is going back and forth between the Senko and a Gunfish 95. Very subtle top water. It's a little bit smaller. My favorite is the 115, but here the bait fish is small, so I'm going with a 95. Now I put the new G Finesse medium heavy trebles on there. I actually tied up my own feathers for the back one, but the G Finesse treble is so sharp and it's very, very strong. I've been using this more so this year, and I feel like my hookup ratio is better because of it. Anytime you're using reaction bait like this, you tend to lose a lot of fish. They just miss the bait. So I feel like my hookup ratio is a lot better. I'm using 35-pound BX braided line for this, and made by Sunline. And I always like braided line. Normally I put a leader on. Right now I'm not. I'm just going with that straight braid right to the bait. Doesn't seem to really affect the fish. I have this on Tatula Type R, and the reason for that is that I really don't spool up my topwater rods that much. So I honestly didn't want to spool up a brand new SV reel with braided line and not use it that much, because topwater I don't get to use very often. So I have it on a Type R. I have it on a Tatula XT rod. This is a medium action rod and a medium light action rod, which is perfect for a little topwater. The reason why I like that rod is that the guides are slightly bigger, so I'm throwing braided line and having a leader on there. The knot goes through the guides just fine. So 6.3 gear ratio reel, again, 35-pound BX. And man, I'm looking at my spot right here, and I really want to catch another one. So, oh, he missed it. He's still on it. He's still on it. I got him that time. That's a good one too. It's the best one yet, I think. And he choked it, man. He choked it. Look at this thing. Wait till you see this. That's how you want to hook them right there. Both trebles. I mean, he had it. It's like a cigarette sticking out of his mouth. Look at that. Yeah, that was so fun watching that thing. He hit it about 3 times. When he got it that last time, I mean, he wanted it. He had the tail treble down, the front treble out on his lip. God, it's a nice one. That G Finesse treble, medium heavy, is a bad dude right there. That is such a good hook. Pick some up, you will not be disappointed. And don't forget, like, tag a homie, share for a chance at this week's gear giveaway presented by Sunline and Gamakatsu.